Hi, if you are joining us for the first time, my name is Yin, and in this class, I teach the discipline of work. Um, our focus group are NSPs, National Service Personnel, basically, and interns. Okay. Today, we are discussing the topic how to handle a bad placement. And what I mean by that is a placement in a company or an organization where you believe that you shouldn't have been working there or should have been sent or posted there, right? Our goals are simple. First, we want to understand the placement process, how the process really works. And then secondly, once you have been placed, we want to help you to explore the opportunities that comes with it, regardless of where you are placed. Every placement comes with some opportunities. But at the same time, every placement comes with challenges. So we want to explore the opportunities and we want to be able to help you handle the challenges as well. Now, I want to start by looking at what an ideal placement is. All right. Which placement or posting would you consider to be ideal? In my opinion, an ideal placement is, first of all, in an organization that has an NSP or an internship plan or program. All right. There are some companies and organizations around who see NSPs and interns as very important for their future. And because of that, they've invested time and resources to design a plan, a publicly available plan that goes right from recruitment down to fulfillment of the program. So right from the first day you step um, into the company to the last day that you leave, the company has a plan for you. And that is where you want to be because it means that they thought about you, they thought about your growth, they thought about your needs, and in many cases, they have a plan for you even at the end of your program. So that is what I will call an ideal placement, right? You also want to be in a place where you can utilize some of the skills that you picked up from the university, right? Regardless of the program that you read, definitely you learned a few hard and soft skills. You want to be able to put them to work immediately wherever you are placed. So finding yourself in an organization where you can put these tools to work immediately is a plus. And then finally, you want to be in a place where your basic needs are met. Okay, you don't want to go to work hungry, and definitely you don't want to struggle to pay for transportation to get to work. So there are two ways you meet this, whether the organization is very close to where you live so that you could basically walk there and maybe even eat from home, or they pay an allowance or offer other services such as free transportation to help you get to work on time and in a sound mind to contribute. So these three areas are the areas that I will look at if I was looking for an ideal placement. Now, the challenge is that in our country today, these kind of positions are very limited. All right, we have more graduates coming out of school every year, and we have very few positions available for all of them. All right, so that is the first challenge. The second challenge is that these positions that I call ideal placement positions um, require rigorous process to get into them, right? Most of them will require that you take an aptitude test and then attend an interview. Sometimes you need to even know a few people to be able to get into those positions. And apart from that, the process in itself, because it involves several stages, takes quite a while. It's not something you get done quickly. Then number three, even going through all the processes, there's no guarantee that you will get a placement in those institutions. The reason is that the success rate is very, very low. So let's say you apply to about 10 organizations or companies, go through all the recruitment stages involving interviews and aptitude tests and other processes. Chances are that you may even not get you may even not get into any of these 10 companies that let's say you initially listed and tried to work with, right? So the success rate is very low. Number 4, they are quite unaccessible, right? Positions that are as good as I have described earlier, most of them are concentrated around Accra, Takoradi, maybe a bit of Kumasi, and a few of the regional capitals, right? So if you are not placed within these areas, most of the time it's going to be difficult to find yourself in a place where there's a laid down program for you, right? Now, the final thing is that if you are not placed in these companies through the process that they have laid down, and you've just been sent there by the NSP placement process, they will not accept you because they have a plan and there's a criteria and a certain caliber of people that they are looking for. Okay, if you don't go through the process required to be there, they will not accept you. And these are the challenges that we are facing right now. Okay, you have a lot of university graduates coming out. We as a country are not prepared for these large numbers, and our private sector is not growing at a rate that we would have these matured institutions where service personnel and interns are intentionally trained and groomed for the future, right? So chances are that many of you coming out of school or going into the internship placement process are not going to have very favorable placements. You are going to find yourself in places where you don't want to be, or where there's no program for you. You can't meet your basic needs, and in some places you can't even apply some of the skills that you have learned. All right. So if you find yourself in that state, what do you do? Right. But before that, I want to speak a bit about the placement process. I've realized that many university students don't apply for these positions intentionally. Okay, you see many students just go online, especially when they are about to graduate. They just go online, fill the NSS forms, and just wait and pray that they will be lucky enough to be placed in a very good company. That's not how things work, right? So if graduates were trained and even students were trained very well on how they can apply and assess some of these good internship placements, and they could prepare for the rigorous placement process and selection process, they will improve their chances of getting into these placement positions, right? But in many cases, I've seen that many students just apply for these things and they just wait to get lucky. And most of the time, you may not be as lucky as you think you are. And you may even get lucky to be placed in an organization, but you get there and they say, well, we have sent a list of the candidates we wanted them to send to us, and you are not part of that list, so we will not accept you. So a good part of this problem can be solved if everyone would intentionally prepare and apply for the posting in the right way to get into the right positions, right? If you could compete fairly to get into the right position and you could prepare adequately for it, it will reduce the burden. You could as well get yourself in a very good organization. Many of you who found yourself in places where you believe that you shouldn't be, it is simply because you had no idea of what to do at the application stage. If you prepared very well for the application and you could apply right, chances are that you find yourself in a very good position today. But now you are not in that position. What do you do? All right. You are in a place where your placement is not very favorable. The first thing you do is to embrace the placement. Now, I'm not saying that the placement is good. So, for example, let's say you are a chemical engineer and you've been placed in a primary school to teach mathematics, all right, or maybe even French or other courses. That is not a good place you want to be, right? And when I say good, it doesn't mean that it's not a good job. It's just not a place you were prepared to be. So what do you do in such a case, right? This is all you've got. You've tried to be posted to different places, but this is where you've been sent, and you have to make good use of it. The first thing you need to do is to embrace it, because you can't thrive in a position that you resent. That is a natural principle. Any position that you will fulfill very well starts with you, first of all, accepting that position as a place where God has put you and a place that you really want to work. So, I mean, this will require some mindset and mindset training and a little bit of counseling and sometimes a little bit of reflection. But once you do it, you can get something out of this. And later on, I explain why this is important. But you have to accept your placement, that this is where you are going to be for the next 1 year. Then that paves the way for you to be able to explore the opportunities that it comes with, because there are opportunities everywhere if you look in the right places, right? So that is first. Number two, because these placements usually don't have a plan for you, you might want to design your own plan. Okay, you have ambitions, you have a growth plan, you have places that you want to go, things that you want to achieve in life. Put that into a very nice plan for yourself, so that when you go to work and there are no assigned activities for you, you will have something to do, okay, that will contribute to your growth and your purpose in life. All right. So once you have your own plan drafted, you put it aside and work. Whenever you don't have any activity, you move to your own plan and begin to execute that. That will help you to keep your growth intact, regardless of where you find yourself. And then finally, focus on transferable skills. If you have been placed in an organization where you are not likely to apply the course you read in the university directly, then that is the time to really put a lot of emphasis on the transferable skills. Every position, regardless of where you are placed, you will need to know how to prepare documents. You need to know how to develop very good Word documents. You need to know how to use Excel to work on data processing, right? You need to be able to use PowerPoint very well, design slides that are very great. You need to learn communication skills to be able to talk in public and express yourself very well in a team. You need to learn how to work with people in a team. You need to learn critical thinking skills, time management skills, discipline. You need to learn proper use of AI, all the 21st century workplace skills that are coming up. You can learn them in that position if you have a good plan. These courses are very available online. Most of them can be read in books, and you can download PDFs and videos and go on YouTube and take these courses free whilst you are in the organization. All right. These are the things that I think if you do will help you very well. Now, why is this important? First of all, if you just stay in the company and say, okay, well, I have been placed in the wrong place. I'm going to stay here for the next 1 year. And then after that, I'll pick my life again. That means that the next 1 year of your life, you are not going to grow. All right. So you are going to basically hang around, stunt your growth for the next 1 year. And then by the end of 1 year, that will become your habit. So that will change you as a person. Okay. By the end of 1 year, it will be difficult for you to go back to who you used to be in terms of your desire for growth and progress in life, because you've laid back for 1 year. And then finally, you become a very frustrated person, right? In some cases, it can get you depressed because you'll be looking at some of your colleagues you left school with, who probably didn't work as hard as you did, but they found themselves in very good organizations where they are growing. And you have found yourself in a place where you haven't grown for the past 1 year. You are not going to be the same person compared to them, right? And that can get you really frustrated, sometimes depressed, and very unprofessional in the workplace. It could have a lasting impact on your life for the rest of your life. And this is not something that you want in your life. So because of that, accept the placement. I mean, design a program for yourself, take initiative, a proactive initiative, and begin to learn something by yourself. Focus on transferable skills. And when you have opportunity to do some hands-on training, get involved. Look for some training programs around you and just invest yourself in it. Seek good advice from mentors and just grow, right? By the end of the year, you would have made a lot of progress in your life. And sometimes you may come to realize that this position came for a purpose, because you will learn things there that will come handy in future if you will take this proactive approach to actually begin to learn by yourself. All right. I hope that this class was useful to you. Once again, my name is Yen, and it was an honor to share these basic ideas with you. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Bye-bye.